What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and today, boys, yes, the time has finally come. We got a brand new 2024 Yamaha R1 on the dyno. This is our first 2024 that we're doing here in the shop. It's supposedly the same as a 2023. We're gonna find out, are the results the same? This one has some good modifications done to it already. SC Projects 3/4 exhaust system, pair valve block off plates, Sprint F185 air filter. So it's got the race air filter in it. And it also has some World Superbike velocity stacks. So we're gonna find out, are all these modifications worth it? And how much power is this thing gonna gain from the ECU Flash and Tune? These things, I guess you would say, buying all these expensive parts really don't do much for you with these bikes until you flash the ECU. They have crazy heavy restrictions in the ECU, and we're gonna be getting rid of those today. Stay with us, guys. Here we go. Here we go, guys. We got the bike all warmed up. We're about to do the baseline pull and see what kind of power this thing makes. Remember, crazy heavy restrictions, so I wouldn't dial off the channel once you see a low dyno number. That's only the beginning, guys. Oh, and comment in the comments below. Let me know, what do you think about the new camera setup? We got a new camera. I'll tell you in the next video what kind of camera it is, but I like the way I can whirl it, twirl it around. I feel like it's way better than the old GoPro I had. Results are in. Kinda sad. So let's just say this bike is about $17,000 or $18,000, just guessing, and he's got a good probably a couple grand in modifications. Look at how sad she is, boys. Our horsepower curve, awful dippy. Our air fuel ratio, absolutely horrendous. We got a lot of work to do here today, guys. All this dotted line, this is about where we want to be for our air fuel ratio. All this above that line is how lean this thing is, meaning not getting enough fuel. We got to fix all that in our Woolich Racing software. Here we go, guys. ECU is flashed. We're ready to roll. Let's see how this thing performs now. All right, guys, right off the rip, we are already up to 185 horsepower, 78 foot-pounds of torque. We got the air-fuel ratio pretty smooth, a lot smoother than it was to start with. Let's overlay it with the first pull so you can see just how much of an improvement we've got already. And just like that, you can see in the top end, we've picked up 23 horsepower at 13,500 RPMs. But mainly, look at how much better the air-fuel ratio is here, the blue line versus the red line. And then you can see also the horsepower we've increased from 77 horsepower to 89 horsepower. Right here, we went from 53 horsepower to 63 horsepower. So we got some big gains already. Give me just 1 second and I'm gonna show you how we got a lot of these gains. All right, guys, so let's take a second to talk about why did this R1 suck so bad. So we go in here to our Woolich Racing software and then we open up a file from a brand new R1 in stock formation, and then we click on other maps. So then we go to the electronic throttle valve table, power mode 1, which is what we're running it in, and then gear 5, which is what we dynoed it in. And then you can see this is the amount of throttle that you're giving it. This is the amount of throttle that the bike is giving it. This is the amount of RPMs we got. So as you can see, as you go 100% throttle, the bike tapers up the throttle. You can see it goes 100% throttle. That's at 8,500 RPMs. But then you can see it cuts back the throttle. So at 13,000 RPMs, it's only getting 73% throttle, which is why our power went up and then kind of a straight line. It didn't keep going. So of course, in this software, we have the ability to go in and change this, and we can now set this at 100% throttle, so that way when you go wide open, the bike stays wide open. And of course, we alter basically all this to make this increase faster, have more mid-range, have everything. Then we can go into your fuel mapping table and adjust every single thing in your fuel map from 800 RPMs all the way to red line. So we can control all that stuff to dial in the air-fuel ratio for the modifications you have. We can do a lot of this stuff through the mail. You send us your ECU, we put in a tune that we have done here on the dyno before for similar modifications to what you have, and the thing is gonna run 1,000,000 times better literally just by mailing in your ECU. We can also disable the top speed limiter. We can disable the exhaust servo motor. We can disable the decel fuel cut, so that way when you let off the throttle, the bike doesn't do that nosedive thing. So now when you're riding and you just barely let off, and you feel that back forth sensation, that rides terrible. So we smooth all that out and we turn that off. That way when you let off the throttle, the fuel injectors keep spraying just a little bit of fuel in order to keep the accelerator, or when you resume throttle, the fuel is already there. It will make the bike run much, much smoother. Then if you do AIS block off plates or pair block off plates, we can eliminate the code for that. We also lower the fan temps. All that stuff is done standard in our ECU Flash. If you go to mooremafia.com, there's more details there. But as of right now, guys, we're fixing to throw the ultimate pops and bangs option on this thing to get this thing making some crazy, crazy noise. We're about to do that now. Hold tight just a second so you can see these results. Here we go, guys. Tuning is finished. We just added in the ultimate pops and bangs option. This is something we can do here at Moore Mafia. We can add this on. It's a love it or hate it thing. Some guys love it, some guys hate it. Either way, we can do it if you want to. If you want pops, bangs, and be the loudest, most obnoxious guy in the neighborhood, hit me up. I got you. Check this out. had the loud, crazy pow, 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 pow. And then I just let off the throttle, and then brrr, we get a random pop here and there. Well, that's because we're creating the pops as you go back to the throttle. So you barely breathe on the throttle, and boom, 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 the cannon's light, boys. You got all the fire, all the pops, all the bangs, all the crazy noises you could ever want. All right, let's see what our final dyno numbers are. This thing is all dialed in and ready. Let me pull up the before and after on this 2024 Yamaha R1. Take a look at our finished product, guys. We started out with 162 horsepower. We ended up with 189 horsepower. So you can see we got huge gains. And not only that, the factory bike hits the rev limiter super early. So you can see here at 14,000 RPMs where the stock ECU is done, we're still making 186 horsepower, guys. This thing revs to the moon and keeps on making power. Now this is our moving velocity stacks. They're gonna move on these things, and that's what creates that little power dip, but they give us way more torque and way more power down low. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you had a little fun watching the video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, hit us up, mooremafia.com. We just got a brand new website. Go check it out. Oh, and don't forget, the giveaway on the 2024 GSX-R 1000 will be beginning the end of March. Hit us up for more details on that on the website. See you guys.